You know, and I look at, we got a lot of problems in the state. We got a lot of job loss. And I thought, as I know Tim Ryan did, the beginning of this year, that the governor and the legislature would go to work, how do we create jobs? Instead, they went after workers. They went after bargaining rights. They went after voter rights. They went after women's rights. And they divided this state when it didn't need to be divided. Yeah. And that's what was so tragic.
Congressman Ryan, how, in your opinion, can a governor justify attacking middle-class workers, wanting more of their pension, wanting more of their health care, wanting to cut their wages, wanting to take away their voice in the workplace, and yet giving his staff a 40% raise in some instances?
Well, I think when you compare him to Governor Strickland asked everybody to sacrifice. His own staff, everyone across the state had to sacrifice, public employees had to sacrifice, and everybody was in it together. Now there's an elite group that doesn't have to sacrifice at all. Not only is it his staff members of the legislative staff are getting raises, and the legislature up to 33% raise for the Republican staffers there. But also they cut the estate tax in the state. So how can you cut the estate tax for the top 1% and then come to all these firemen here who are making $40,000, $50,000 a year trying to feed their family, send them to school, trying to create a better future for them? At the same time, you're going out of your way to cut taxes for the top wealthiest people in the state. It's ridiculous.
There is no doubt that if the president gets this American Jobs Bill passed, that it will benefit Ohio. In fact, Ohio will get the sixth highest amount of money than any other state. It will have a tremendous effect on teachers, on firefighters. What are the chances of getting any Republican help in the House?
Well, I don't think it's going to be much. I think they'll go for some of the payroll tax cuts and maybe some of the others, which I think need to be included in a broader package. But if we don't have infrastructure spending, if we don't pump money into the economy, we have the building trades are at a 20% unemployment in the trades. Put these people to work. We have a $2 to $3 trillion. We have a $2 to $3 trillion infrastructure deficit. We've got work that needs to get done. We've got people that want to go to work, and they're Ohioans. We drive around the roads here. I think everybody agree we could use a little bit of money to get these roads paved around here, and that's what it would do.
Senator Brown, what do you say to those people who say it's just more spending?
Well, I say we got to invest. I'm concerned about the budget deficit in this country, but I'm concerned about the infrastructure deficit. I'm concerned about community colleges, what we're doing, sending kids to school. I'm concerned about the sewer systems and the water systems and the highways and the bridges and the ports. And we spent after the war, in the 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, we built up the greatest infrastructure in the history of the world. And now the government said, let's give tax cuts to rich people instead of modernizing our infrastructure and investing in the future. And all the people here, the firefighters here, they want to send their kids to school. They want their kids to have a good life. They want their kids to have the opportunity to join a union and be in the middle class. But if we don't invest in schools and health care and education and infrastructure, they're not going to have those opportunities that our generation up here has.
There's no question about that. And finally, Mr. Reel, tell America, what do your firefighters make?
Firefighter here in the city of Columbus, which it's a very busy job. I mean, you seldom go through a 24-hour shift without getting 20 runs a day. They make about $54,000 a year for a firefighter here in the city of Columbus.
And the governor wants to have you contribute more of your health care, wants to reduce your pension, take away your voice in the workplace and collective bargaining. I mean,
we can talk about when this came about as collective bargaining reform. We were willing to sit down and talk with the administration on how we could come up with something that would make both sides happy and be fair to the worker and to the employer.
Yeah.
What we've come up with is something that takes away the rights for us to protect ourselves so that we can protect the public. I don't have the right to bargain about staffing. I don't have the right to bargain about safety. I don't have the right to bargain about training and education for my firefighters. Those are crucial to make sure that we can protect the public. More importantly, it removes the ability for a third of the firefighters and police officers in the state of Ohio to even negotiate a contract.
Yeah.
They're taken out of the collective bargaining process altogether, myself included.
Keep up the fight, John.
Right after Governor Kasich right after Governor Kasich put this bill out, and it was pretty clear, in spite of the protests of so many people, so many regular citizens, not just public officials, public employees, but people of faith, other people. I did a round table at the church right near the State House, and a teacher was on that round table, and she said, you know, when I negotiate, I'm not just negotiating for wages and benefits. I'm negotiating for smaller class sizes for my students. And a police officer said, I'm not just negotiating for my retirement. I'm negotiating for safety vests, for bulletproof vests for my for my police officers. I mean, these workers, they're negotiating for better schools, better education, better health care, better working conditions, not just their benefits.
No doubt.
And they're entitled to that, but they work for the community.
Jack Reel, Senator Sherrod Brown, and Congressman Tim Ryan, thanks for joining us tonight here on The Ed Show. Remember to answer tonight's question there at the bottom of the screen. We want to know what you think. Coming up, a week after the president unveiled his plan to get Americans back to work, John Boehner finally responds. Then later, we'll hear from Columbus Mayor Michael Coleman and the president of the Ohio Federation of Teachers about how Senate Bill 5 has affected their budgets. Also joining me here in Columbus tonight, two people who have been fighting Senate Bill 5 from the start, State Senator Nina Turner and also Chris Redfern of the Ohio Democratic Party. And these firefighters behind me will follow up when I say, oh!